In 2010, we published a report called the Supercycle Report, where we argued that the world has now entered a new period of fast growth, led particularly by emerging markets, and that it should last for at least 30 years or so and bring a lot of development to the world. We wanted to revisit that report to see if the framework of a supercycle really still made sense. Over the last 3 years, the emerging countries have done pretty well, but just in the last year or so there's been a significant economic slowdown, and there's quite a lot of concern about that now. We looked at that and we think a lot of these concerns are exaggerated. Nevertheless, there are issues there, and part of it is that countries actually haven't done enough reforms over the last few years. Now, we think that these countries are now up against it and will have to make those reforms, and that will improve growth going forward. And what we've done in the report is really try to address all these concerns that people have. And we come out on the optimistic side on these. There's a lot of challenges, but we think they can be overcome. The developed countries will improve too, though, we believe. They've obviously had a rough few years, but we think we're coming to an end of that. And a period of strong growth in the emerging countries really helps to pull up the developed countries, and vice versa. Our forecast suggests that economic growth in the 2000 to 2030 period is going to be in the area of 3.5% per year. That's for world growth. And that's up from only 3% in the previous 25 years. Some of the key implications of the supercycle are around the emerging countries and how they're becoming a larger share of the world economy. Just under 40% now. We're forecast that the emerging countries will be over 60% by 2030. China will be about 24% of the world economy, from 12% today. Big growth in the middle classes, particularly in Asia. Huge amounts of urbanization, which then drives investment, drives commodity prices and so on. So a lot of changes in the world economy, a transformation really, a shift to the east in terms of relative economic power and also economic leadership. All these trends have been in place for some time, and we think they will continue and extend.